Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen, and in this video I am going to be reviewing The Wicked Cometh, a novel of the darkest London by Laura Carlin. So this is a historical fiction novel that came out late last year, I believe, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. It really is one of the most beautifully presented books that I have ever seen. So this book follows Hester White. She is a young woman in the Victorian era who lives in the lowest part of society, really. She lives in dirty London. She doesn't have money. She's extremely poor, and she really wants to better her situation in life. Now, Hester is interesting because she was not actually born to this situation. She was born to great parents and she had a beautiful childhood, but her parents unfortunately died when she was really young and she didn't have any other family. So she went to London with the gardener who worked for her dad and his wife. So that is the reason why Hester is in this really kind of dire situation. One day while she is in London, she meets a young doctor by the name of Calder, and he tells her that if she is willing to go live with him in order to do this experiment, then she can gain some education. He doesn't know that Hester has already gotten all of this education before during her childhood. He is not aware of the fact that she learned Latin and she learned how to read and she knows how to write and all of these things. He really thinks that she is illiterate, that she is one of these people that has no education at all, and he enlists his sister Rebecca to be Hester's tutor, essentially. So while all of this is going on, and while you are following Hester and her life and these new experiences that she has with this new family outside of London, you also have this mystery that is going on. People inside and outside of the city of London are disappearing in really mysterious circumstances. They just disappear. Nobody really knows where they're going or what's going on. Is it a killer? Are they leaving by themselves? What's really going on? Hester and the sister of the doctor, her name is Rebecca, they become really interested in these disappearances and they want to find out what is actually going on. So I had really high expectations for this book. Victorian historical fiction is probably my favorite type of book. I absolutely love it. It's always so fun whenever I go back to the Victorian era and I read a book that is gothic and just really fun to read. And this book met a few of my expectations, but not all of them. I gave 4 stars to this book out of 5, and the reason why was because I found that it was a little bit messy, and even though it was incredibly fun to read and I was hooked from the first page and I wanted to keep reading, every time that I put the book down I was immediately, thinking about when I could pick it up again. Even though it gave me that feeling, I think that the story could have been worked and could have been edited to be better. So let's focus on the positives first. I really enjoy the character of Hester. I found her to be really smart, really quick. She was somebody that was constantly worrying about her survival. Every decision that she makes is based on what is going to help her the most. So I really did enjoy reading about her character, and once I finished this book I wanted to keep reading more about Hester. I thought that she was a fascinating character, really engaging. I also really liked the way that the book was written. It wasn't overly complex. It's not the greatest written historical fiction. I mean, there are definitely other historical fictions out there that are just really detailed and beautifully written. This one is a lot more simple and in a way does feel a little bit young adult, at least it did to me, but I found that this worked because it was an easy read. Also, I really enjoyed the pacing of the story. It never felt too fast, it never felt too slow. It felt like a nice in-between, and I really enjoyed that because it keeps you hungry for more. You want to keep on reading. Certain scenes that could take pages and pages and pages in another writer's novel just take few paragraphs in this one, and I felt like that kept the story moving, and I really enjoyed that. Another thing I enjoyed was the way that the mystery was revealed and how the mystery ended up being solved. I did really like that. I thought it was interesting. There was a lot of research that went into that aspect of the book, and I appreciated that. Now on to the reason why I didn't give it 5 stars and some of my issues with the book. So the plot of this book is very similar to Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. And I could not help but keep comparing it to Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. This is one of my absolute favorite novels. It takes place in Victorian London. It's a historical fiction. You follow a young woman who also comes from the dirt poor, low part of society. Because of a man, she goes to live in this country house just like Hester does, and she forms this relationship with the lady of the house just like Hester does. There is this mystery, there is twists and turns, and even the twists and turns in The Wicked Cometh reminded me of the ones in Fingersmith. And because Fingersmith is such an incredible novel and Sarah Waters is such a almost perfect historical fiction writer, she gets everything right. It was really hard for me to not have that in the back of my mind while I was reading this one. This one just felt really short to Fingersmith, and I would be really surprised if the author of this novel said that she has never read Fingersmith in her life, because you really do get a sense that Sarah Waters is an inspiration for this story. So something that I should have mentioned a little bit earlier and didn't was the love story in here. Hester falls in love with Rebecca, the sister, and again, this was really reminiscent of Fingersmith, not because of the fact that you have a lady of the house falling in love with someone that she is in close contact with, someone who's a stranger, someone that knows more than she lets on, but just because I felt like the way that the story progressed was really similar to the Sarah Waters tale. And while I did really enjoy the love story, there was an effort made by this author to pull them apart that I felt was utterly ridiculous. It really was, I think it was the lowest point in the whole book, and it could have been tied together in such a better way. I feel like overall this writer wanted to do a lot of things. She wanted to write this epic novel, but she couldn't really let go of her inspiration, and her inspiration just kind of it crept up way too many times for me, and I would have liked to have more of a distance between this book and this book. Again, I've never talked to this author. I don't know if she has read Fingersmith, but it seems to me that she has, because it would be impossible for the books to be as similar as they are. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say about this book. I did enjoy it. I do recommend it. I think that it is really fun and good and well written. This author can certainly write, and I will certainly pick up whatever other historical fiction or whatever other novel she writes in the future. I think that she has a lot of talent, but that talent hasn't been polished and hasn't been refined enough and hasn't reached its highest quality. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you're interested in The Wicked Cometh, and if you have read it, what you have thought of it. I thought it was fun, and I'm glad that I read it, and I am really glad that I own it, because it is such a beautiful, beautiful book to add to my bookshelves. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!